Stockholm in the middle of a brutal heat wave. It's beautiful, isn't it? I'm off to a demo day with local bike store, particular tickets, to try out some Dentist class bikes. Top notch, carbon fiber. I'm pretty much late. I better stop talking and ride. All right, let's see how this Dentist bike performs. Pivot Mach 5.5, 27.5-inch wheels, 2.6-inch tires. So not quite fatty, but somewhere in between. Wide rims, wide tires, and boost spacing. Should be better grip. Seriously quiet bike. A quiet bike is a happy bike. Let's see what it says. First punchy little climb. Shocks fully open. Let's see what more I get. Alright, that wasn't too bad. Seems like it floats around the middle of the stroke at back. Even with the shocks like fully open. The W link seems to be doing its thing. Alright, fast undulating trail. And there we go. Let's make it quick work of this. Apart from these rocks, this is the long, flowy, bumpy descent. That was the wrong gear. The shocks fully open. Kind of hard in the wet. Even with the shocks open, this thing seems to pedal really well. Wider tires, better grip. I'm guessing there's quite a bit of rolling resistance, but it's a good trade-off for the grip you get. Good feeling. Good to nail that already. Second line, down the same rock face. This time I'll just roll it. The bike's a freaking mountain goat. A bit of a technical climb. Still got the shocks open. There's a huge amount of traction in these 2.6 tires. full degree steeper than mine. Descends competently. Going back on this bike is really low, but I'm not used to that. I'm constantly backpedaling, so I don't have the cranks. I'll do something stupid. For a little bike, relatively speaking, this thing sucked up that drop pretty well. Maybe a bike length and a half, maybe 1.5 meters down. It was a pretty flat landing. There's a couple of sections on this piece of trail that are awesome fun, super technical. You got water on one side and a really technical rock climb on the other. So let's see if I make it. I did make it on my bike, but I'm used to that as well. Although this thing climbs really well. All right, let's hit it. Yeah, boy. Made it. We're heading back to the parking lot. Unfortunately, you have to part ways with this bike. So in conclusion, I rode the Pivot Mach 5.5. 6 out of 5 dentists think it's an awesome bike and fairly priced. That's 6,500 euros. To be fair, it's a lot more capable than it looks. This is probably one of the better trail bikes for just general riding around in Sweden. It's got just the right amount of downhill capability. Maybe take it to a bike park once or twice. Suspension is really supple. Sucks up the huge hits. Woo. And it rides like a dream. Alright, so now that I had a bit of time to think about this whole experience, here's the mostly unbiased, non-comprehensive review of the Pivot Mach 5.5 Carbon. Now, my frame of reference is a 2016 Specialized Enduro comp with 160 front and back, dual position bike up front, and a Fox Float CTD in the rear. I'm finding it hard to complain about this bike. I rode a large frame, although I generally ride mediums, and it felt roomy enough to climb on and short enough to throw around in corners. I'm used to a head angle of full degree slacker, but for the terrain we rode, I didn't see this as an issue. And I'm sure I'd feel differently on a full-on steep downhill track. Now, it's been a while since I rode a Shimano drivetrain, but the distinctive kind of clunky sound when shifting, it maybe feels a little bit unrefined, but quite reassuring. The Mach 5.5 felt poppy and easy to kind of endo into steep corners, and it was quick coming out of it. Now, this thing accelerates like a bat out of hell. I'm assuming this is due to the bigger contact patch on the 2.6-inch tires. And did I mention the perverse amounts of traction that those tires offer? I mean, nuts. The suspension, especially the rear, felt great. Bottomless and smooth. The bike seemed to sit around maybe 30 to 40% into the stroke and just kind of stay there. The Fox 36 up front, it felt really stiff and supple. It would just swallow anything I threw at it. I mostly rode with the shocks wide open, even on the climbs, and the DW Link, it just seemed to be a really good pedaling platform. The BB height is a full centimeter lower than on my Specialized Enduro, and Pivot paired that with 175mm cranks, so I was constantly backpedaling to avoid strikes. Now, why Pivot? Why? There are shorter cranks out there. Just spec your bikes with those. The bike I rode had SLX brakes and shifter. Now, SLX, really? On a €6,500 bike? I mean, to be fair, there was an XT mech on that bike, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with SLX. I've ridden SLX before, it's a great group set. But for that amount of money, it'd be nice to get a more refined XT group set. I don't think I spent enough time with the wheels to be able to form an opinion on them yet, but I didn't really see any direct shortcomings. They were just dead straight and didn't flex, and that's kind of what you want in a wheel set. So, is the Pivot Mach 5.5 a great bike? Now, if you want a trail bike that climbs like a mountain goat and descends like a tank, absolutely. Is it worth it? Is it good value for money? Not really sold there. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a great bike, but I personally find it a little too expensive for what it is, especially with direct sales offerings from YT and Canyon that have better spec at lower prices. But enough of me talking. Find a local bike store that organizes demo days, book some time with a bike you might like, go ride and get stoked. Oh, and consider subscribing. Until next time.